Dernièrement, j'ai lu la thèse de doctorat en théologie d'un étudiant qui finissait son PhD en études bibliques. Juste le lire, c'était tout un travail. Fait que j'imagine le travail qu'il a mis pour y arriver. Je n'ai pas besoin de vous dire qui il est ou quel est le sujet de sa thèse, mais je peux vous dire par contre qu'il a choisi un personnage obscur de la Bible. Il a mis des centaines d'heures de recherche pour faire sa composition de sa thèse. C'est extraordinaire. Je peux vous dire qu'il a choisi un personnage de l'Ancien Testament qu'on n'entend pas parler beaucoup. Mais on ne parlera pas du sujet de sa thèse comme tel. Il a prouvé qu'il était capable de faire une analyse extraordinaire, vraiment très profonde, des versets qu'il a choisis. Il est super brillant et je l'admire beaucoup. Par contre, la lecture de sa thèse n'a pas permis directement de me rapprocher de Dieu. Puis ça n'a pas changé ma façon de vivre ou de devenir plus comme Jésus. Son brillant travail d'analyse peut servir de base pour plein d'études bibliques. Puis c'est vraiment extraordinaire. Mais je n'ai pas trouvé d'application pratique pour nous. Il y en a sûrement des applications pratiques, c'est juste qu'il n'était pas évidente. Son travail acharné m'a pas vraiment servi pour faire le sermon, à part que l'introduction. Ça m'amène à vous poser quelques questions. Est-ce que les lectures ou les études que vous faites ou qu'on fait nous apportent quelque chose directement? Est-ce que ça nous rapproche de Dieu? Est-ce que ça nous fait connaître mieux Dieu? Est-ce que ça nous permet de nous améliorer, de devenir plus comme Jésus? La réponse est probablement oui. Puis c'est bien que ce soit comme ça. On doit être conscient de qu'est-ce qu'on fait, le pourquoi et les bénéfices. Les bénéfices pour nous, mais surtout pour les autres. Donc, on doit être intentionnel et non pas accidentel. Une autre question intéressante est, est-ce que nos lectures contiennent la vérité? Oui, c'est sûr qu'on va lire occasionnellement un livre de fiction, puis c'est bien, ça nous détend. Yes, it's not written in the back. So sometimes we do read a book that is just fiction and it's great. Mais est-ce que nos lectures contiennent la vérité? Ou est-ce qu'on essaie de trouver des preuves pour nos croyances personnelles? Ce qui m'amène à nous demander, où est-ce qu'on va chercher nos lectures? Où est-ce qu'on va chercher nos études? Sur le site de GCI? Ou bien vous faites une recherche dans Google? Plein de questions aujourd'hui. Ma question finale est, est-ce que nos lectures, en plus de nous expliquer la Bible, vont nous aider à faire avancer le royaume de Dieu? On vient de lire les versets de base pour ce sermon. Qu'est-ce qu'on peut en sortir? Qu'est-ce que je pourrais enseigner à propos de ce verset? Je pourrais analyser avec vous la théologie derrière chaque phrase. On pourrait inclure tous les détails relativement à la culture de ces gens-là. Ce qu'on va faire, qu'on va pouvoir mieux comprendre ce que les disciples ont vécu lorsqu'ils ont vu Jésus, lorsqu'ils l'ont entendu. On va être capable de comprendre leur perspective, puis la perspective de leur culture. Ce qui est super bon, en effet. On pourrait faire une présentation de 30 minutes sur la signification de chacun des versets ou chacun des mots-clés qui sont utilisés. On pourrait analyser le grec ancien, puis voir les possibilités de traduction possibles. Ça serait fascinant Ça prendrait beaucoup de temps, on serait épuisé après, mais ça ne nous permettrait pas nécessairement de devenir plus comme Jésus, de faire avancer le royaume. L'analyse du point principal de ces versets en fonction des personnes assises devant lui est que Jésus a fait ces miracles par amour, pour prouver qu'il est le Messie. Ce Messie que les Juifs attendaient avec impatience. Naturellement, c'est un point important pour tout le monde. Mais qu'est-ce qu'on fait avec ça? Il y a tant de questions qu'on peut se poser, et tant de possibilités. Premièrement, regardons de plus près ces versets. The context of Matthew 14 tells us how Jesus was actively ministering to a crowd of over 5,000 people, even though he was looking forward for some time alone to deal with the loss of his cousin, John the Baptizer. His compassion moved him to offer healing to those in need. And the task was so large that as the day grew to a close, his work was not finished. The disciples encouraged him to send the people away so they could get food for themselves. But Jesus told them, "You feed them." This was an interesting statement because it was obvious that the disciples, that this task was impossible. Unless the 2 fishes were the size of whales, and even then, impossible. The disciples did happen to have 5 loaves and 2 fish, but that was obviously not enough to feed over 5,000 people. Those men were still blind, with regard to the spiritual realities that Jesus was living. Even after all their time with him, even after he had spent all day performing miracles, they couldn't imagine being able to feed the people with the 5 loaves and 2 fishes. So the day was, at the end, it was getting darker. The situation was serious, and Jesus was telling them that it was up to them to solve this problem. Let's look at the passage in Romans 9, verse 5. Notice who Paul says Jesus is. He didn't say Jesus was a nice guy who helped people, healed the sick, and told good stories. What he said was that Jesus was and is both fully human and fully God. The problem in dealing with feeding the large group of people was that the disciples did not realize truly who Jesus was. And this is the central spiritual reality we all need to embrace. For it makes a profound difference in how we deal with the everyday situations in our lives, which seems to be beyond our ability to handle. I'm sure that you've lived through situations where it's very difficult to know what to do. So the question is, do we keep in mind that Jesus is God all through the day? And that he can make miracles in our lives? We know he is capable, but I think that we often don't expect it to happen to us. Notice the profound difference which occurred when the disciple placed their 5 loaves and the 2 fish in Jesus' hand. Were they sure he would do the impossible? They did what he told them to do, whether they believed or not. They did what was needed for the situation. So Jesus told them to organize the people. So they did. The Bible does not tell us how they react to this miracle, but we can imagine their amazement. Well, when all was said and done, everyone had all they needed, and there was even enough left over to fill 12 large baskets. Jesus told them not to neglect to gather the leftovers. So they did. Nothing was wasted, and everyone was fed. The irony was that even after he did all this, the disciples still seemed to be blind as to who Jesus truly is. They needed their eyes opened by the Holy Spirit and their hearts awakened. The spiritual realities are not something we touch, taste, feel like our physical senses. So it seems at times that they are not real. But Jesus Christ is our living Lord, and He reveals Himself to us through the Holy Spirit. But Jesus Christ is our living Lord, and He reveals Himself to us by His Spirit. He loves to take what little we have and put it to work, doing great things for His kingdom in this world. And He loves to include us in what He is doing. Even though at times it may not make sense to us. What is the main lesson that Jesus wanted to give here? That He is the Messiah? Yes, indeed. He gave us those signs to prove that He was the one the Jews were expecting. That He was capable of healing people and to multiply food as needed depending on how many people He was with. Obviously, He could do miracles, and He did indeed. They saw and were able to believe in Him. But it does not seem that they believed. They saw and they marveled. He left the disciple 12 full baskets. One per apostles, maybe? Not sure. There was no need to leave them with those leftovers. I think that it is an extra He did to let them know that they could give again. He had told them, you give them something to eat. He could have given the food Himself to the people and it would be passed on. No, He used the disciple. He said, you feed them. He said, basically, the job is not finished for them, so they needed to continue to feed the flock, to feed the next group of people they would meet. It is the same thing for us. We have been given a lot, and God is asking each one of us to go and feed the flock. You may say, but I don't have the gift. I'm not good at it. I just can't. I understand. I definitely don't have the gift to preach to thousands of people like Billy Graham did. I don't have the gift like Mr. Williams or Mr. Tekach before him. But He's using me here with us today. I don't think that I have the gift to heal or to resuscitate someone. But God could use any one of us to do it on special occasions. Our prayers, your prayers are powerful. Did you notice powerful? So He's telling us, you give them something to eat. And He will leave crumbs to share with more people. There will always be crumbs after for us to share again and again. It is okay if you're not comfortable. I'm not either. But that does not remove the fact that he wants us to feed the flock. It means that you and me, we all need Jesus to do it with us. So we need to go and share the food as we are not alone. He is with us all the time, and he is the one doing the work in us.